Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks and Futures Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday the 20th of October 2024, ending Friday the 25th. We are past options expiration for October, so 2 more expirations left for the year. I can't believe we're almost done with the first month of the fourth quarter. Election day is 16 days away at this point, so market's been kind of dead. But anyways, let's take a look. Here's the euro-dollar index. Euro declined over the last couple of weeks against the dollar. There's the pound, also declined the last couple of weeks against the dollar. So the dollar's getting stronger. And you got the 13 sell signal right up top there on that one. So that was a good signal, and things are working well. ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. And as you can see, we had made new closing highs this week. We didn't do it on Friday, but we were close. Market's still strong, economy's strong, everything's working well. S&P cash index, however, did have a new closing high, which is really quite amazing at this point. NASDAQ 100, not quite at closing highs, but it's getting up there. Getting a little surge here. And remember, like I say all the time, if we're up for the year, which we definitely are, and you get into about November 15th, then nobody wants to sell their stocks and pay their taxes until the following year, so the market usually runs. So we have a good chance of a run here at the end of the year at this point, obviously pending whatever the market thinks about the election. The Russell 2000 finally made it back to new highs, and crude oil down 68.69 on the close on Friday. Now, that cuts two ways, right? Sometimes you get a drop in oil prices because they think the economy is going to be weak and there's not going to be a lot of oil demand. But also, production goes up. We've obviously been producing a lot of oil here in this country, and so we'll see what happens there. In terms of Bitcoin, we're down to 53,669 as I do this. That's a new low, closing-wise anyways. Well, there's no close in Bitcoin, but we had one day that dipped lower than that in the last 7 months. So we'll see what happens there. But Bitcoin, obviously, retracting. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, was basically flat for the week, so nothing there to say. The VIX did decline, though, 18.03 on the close on Friday. Doesn't mean much in terms of volatility. It's been dead, and we'll look at that in a second here. And the advanced decline ratio was positive more days than negative this week, so we're still seeing more stocks up than down. The trend closes at 0.91, puts the 10-day moving average at 0.98, and that is above the, that's the orange line, puts them above the blue line of 0.85. ES front month futures contract, this is the 5-minute chart, or the 10-minute chart, sorry. So you can see the prior Friday, and then we gap up on Monday and rallied, opened flat on Tuesday and declined, filled the gap from the Monday gap. Opened flat on Wednesday and rallied a little bit, gapped up a little bit on Thursday, filled the gap almost exactly, and then closed even. At that point, you're nowhere for the week, and then Friday was dead, but we knew Friday would be dead because of options expiration, and frankly, we didn't even really get much of an options unraveling move, so, but it's not a quarterly expiration, but still. NASDAQ 100 literally closes almost even for the whole week. So it's just been such a dead market for everybody. I mean, just horrible. Volume was 5 billion shares most of the days, and that's fine. Daily charts of Apple, basically at new highs. Amazon got a 13 sell signal, but hasn't broken the risk line yet. Trying to curl back up, not at highs. Meta, not quite at highs, but it was a week ago. Google, not close to highs. There's a lot of talk of breaking up Google. We'll see what happens there. Goldman Sachs did make new highs this week. It's forming kind of a bull flag pattern, so we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, with rates coming down, the banks are getting helped. Netflix gapped up on earnings and made new highs. Big gap. I was up like 75 points on Friday. Big move. So it had that 13 sell signal that worked, but then earnings and then the gap up. Tesla, what a flat week for Tesla. Jesus, look at that. NVIDIA at highs. We're going to take this one again this week because this is a very nice inverse head and shoulders pattern. So we'll call that out. Zoom near highs, but not at them. Had the 13 sell signal, pulled back a bit. That worked, but still looking very strong as a chart construction pattern. And for solar at lows for the last several months. All right, in terms of economic data coming out this week, we've got the following. We have on Monday, and by the way, we have no more holidays until Thanksgiving, except for there is Veterans Day, which is just a bank holiday. The stock market's open just like it was on Columbus Day, when the banks are closed, which is kind of a waste of time, but it is what it is. So we're got a straight ride for the next 5 weeks or so. We got Fed members speaking on Monday, nothing else. We've got Richmond Manufacturing Index. We've got on Tuesday, there's nothing there really. We've got more Fed members speaking and the existing home sales number at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. Another Fed member speaking. So really no data all the way through Wednesday. Thursday, flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI along with new home sales at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And Friday, we've got the durable goods orders and revised University of Michigan sentiment. So basically, no data that matters that much this week. It should be a light week from that perspective. Doesn't really help us from a trading perspective because there's nothing to move the market. But you've got like I said, you've got the election 2 weeks out, so we'll see what happens. Charts as usual brought to you by Ninja Trader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.